What's good? What's good, world? You already know what it is, man. We're gonna get into the homegoing service of Big Jook. Check out what the Sauce podcast has something to say about this. I really like her commentary. So shout out to the source, the Sauce, but she calls herself the source. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's ridiculous, man. You can't. It's just ridiculous, man. But let's get into it. You heard? Make it make sense, man. You know who it is. Your boy.
Many people speculated that he was murked in retaliation for his alleged involvement in young Dolph's murder outside of Makita's Cookies in 2023. When reflecting on his big brother, Yo Gotti said, "What's understood doesn't gotta be explained. You're irreplaceable. My other half. Thanks for everything you taught me, directly and indirectly. I look up to you every day. I will miss you every day and make sure they remember you. The biggest ever." Source, can you please take us inside the church so we can see the beautiful way that Yo Gotti sent his brother off?
That's sad, man. Beautiful white flowers. Beautiful. The flowers alone about 50,000. RP to that black man. Killed by another black man. Make it make sense. Don't make sense.
Listen, those flowers were absolutely beautiful, and it appears that Yo Gotti didn't spare any expenses when laying his brother Big Jook to rest. Okay, so according to individuals who were able to get inside of Big Jook's homegoing service, Dr. Stacy L. Spencer gave Big Jook's eulogy, which was entitled King of the Hill. During the eulogy, he quoted from the Old Testament book of Samuel and hailed Big Jook as both a businessman and a family man. In addition to Pastor Spencer's remarks, the service also included the reading of a letter of condolences that was said to be from President Joe Biden and the Biden family.
Sleepy
Now,
Joe.
after some YouTubers and podcasters reported that Joe Biden had sent his letter paying his respects, some people were like, yo, why in the world is Joe Biden paying respects to Big Jook and Yo Gotti? The reason is that Yo Gotti is the part owner of the Major League Soccer team DC United, and because of that, he met the First Lady Jill Biden in conjunction with the youth soccer program in Washington last year, and he also attended a White House holiday event last December. So that's why President Joe Biden and his wife gave Yo Gotti condolences for the loss of his brother. And let me say this, There's a couple of YouTubers and podcasters saying that Bill Clinton was at the funeral. He was not at Big Jook's funeral.
Now, y'all know
And the
Bill
pictures
Clinton
that
was
they
at
have
that funeral.
posted on their websites are photoshopped. I mean, even though Bill Clinton might be one of your more hood-friendly presidents, he ain't that hood-friendly to be pulling up in Memphis for Big Jook's funeral. Now, many people were concerned that Big Jook's funeral wouldn't be able to be held in Memphis because the tensions that continue to run high between Yo Gotti's clique CMG and Young Dolph's clique PRE, and many people feared that if Yo Gotti returned to Memphis to bury his big brother, he might also get targeted and ends up 6 feet under. Now, according to the church, where Big Jook's funeral was eventually held, none of the other churches in the Memphis area wanted to let Yo Gotti and the Mims family have Big Jook's funeral at their churches because they were fearful that something might jump off. The pastor also shared the fact that when Yo Gotti and the Mims family called him and explained that they couldn't find a church where they could give his brother Big Jook a proper send-off, he invited them to come to New Directions Christian Church so that they could have the service that they really wanted to have, because he wasn't going to turn away a family in need, despite the fact that there was a potential threat surrounding a family. Now, even though the pastor allowed Yo Gotti and the Mims family to have Big Jook's funeral at the church, he was still concerned about what could potentially go down. So, he jumped online the morning of the funeral and asked God to protect the church from the ops. And he also made sure to ask God to make sure that no weapon that was formed against Yo Gotti and the church would prosper. Check this out.
Y'all, I need your prayers this morning. I know I pray for you a lot, and we pray for each other. I need you praying for, with, and for me this morning. We're praying for protection. Praying for protection. You know, I preached Sunday about Nehemiah. Nehemiah was rebuilding the wall in his city. The walls had been torn down, had been burnt down, and thieves were coming in and taking what they wanted. And Nehemiah was cupbearer to the king, and he took a risk and told the king that his heart was broken over the condition of his city, and the king gave him a grant to go and rebuild the wall. But as I told you on Sunday, whenever you take position, you're always going to have opposition, and the ops begin to make threats toward the builders of the wall because they benefited from the walls being torn down. And they threatened to kill Nehemiah and the workers while they were rebuilding the wall. And Nehemiah prayed, Lord, they come back on them. Do not hold them guiltless for their sin. And Nehemiah continued to rebuild the wall with weapons in one hand and tools in another. And they watched and prayed while they were rebuilding the wall. We got a call the other day, right after I preached that sermon. Got a call on a Monday to request us to host a funeral at our church. It's not uncommon for us to get requests to hold funerals at our church. That's what churches do. This particular family had no other place to go to hold their funeral. The Mims family. Young man was shot down the street from our church a couple of weeks ago. And his family reached out for us to have the funeral. And without hesitation, I said yes, because her mother had lost her son, children had lost their dad, and siblings had lost their brother. We've done all kinds of funerals at our churches, but this funeral was different because this is Yo Gotti's brother. There's been a lot of speculation about his death, and a lot of people afraid of retaliation. But I just believe that when you do the right thing for God and do it for the right reason, that God will protect. I want to give refuge and sanctuary to a family that is grieving, and yet there are ignorant people who are trying to stir up hostility and hoping something bad comes out of this. I'm praying that as we rebuild our community and stand up and say enough killing, there's enough killing in our city, I believe that when we stand up for what's right and to bring hope and healing to a family that's hurting, that God will stand up for us. So I solicit your prayers as we host the homegoing of this young man that was killed today, that we might be able to give hope to this family and God might guard against the hostilities of anybody who would try to do anything evil on this day. There used to be a time where we had honor and revere for the house of God, for the people of God. But there's no code of ethics in the streets, it seems, anymore. There's no sanctity of life. And I just pray that you guys would lift up this family in prayer this morning. Lift me up as I have to give the eulogy this morning. And lift up our church family and our community, that this senseless violence would stop and God would bring healing to our city.
Listen, thank goodness that God answers prayers. Because, everybody was like worrying about what could potentially happen. So needless to say.
Okay. Black America. Black America. For those that's wondering, J Cass, what are you doing in the background? J Cass has a habit of, when he's deep in thought or going through a situation, I bite my cuticles. And yes, I wash my hands first before I bite my cuticles. But it's like a habit. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke weed. Everybody has their vices in life. But let's get to this. This man, this pastor, had to pray that no chaos occurs at his church where he's hosting the funeral of Yo Gotti's older brother, Big Jook. With this new generation of demon time that were raised by mothers that were 15 and 16 having babies, babies having babies, not instilling Christ or Allah or whomever their spiritual guidance in their heart to know better, to not shoot up a funeral or a wake service for a human being that has passed on to the essence. Even J Cass, that been in the streets his whole life, I've been removed 10 years straight. No street endeavors, no street activity. Turn in the towel. And life has been excellent. Has it been a struggle? Of course, maybe switching from this job to that job, but trucking really saved my life. But let's get back to the ignorance of black people. We forget that back in the day we used to be slaves and tormented and tortured and murdered and lynched by a whole nother race that's still out there, that's basically puppeteered your dumb ass now to kill each other. And we've been doing this since the 90s, since forever. And hurt families whenever they feel like it. Y'all don't march, y'all don't protest, y'all don't do a damn thing. But you kill each other every day in every hood in America. And this ongoing beef, rest in peace, with Dolph, you knew a lot of bodies was going to drop. You understand me? Two camps that don't like each other. Big Jook out here making videos, mocking that man's death. That's like right now. All the killers that killed my cousin when I first moved down here 10 years ago just got my family out the hood. Couldn't attend the wake because if I'd have went up there, I'd have caught a charge. They caught everybody that was involved, but the person that the beef was for, he lied. He didn't tell the truth until the surveillance videos hit the surface and his sister's apartment. They got a warrant for his arrest so he could speak. He shows up at the wake. He didn't apologize to my aunt. My cousin had two brothers. This dude is about 5'4" and weighs about $150. So he wasn't no threat to nobody. This the person that had the beef. That called my cousin at work. Hey, yo, D, come drink with me in the hood. Not knowing that he had beef. And I already told my family, if I show up at that wake and dude shows up, it's hands and feet on him on sight. I know I'm getting off topic, but I'm leading to something here. I still in my heart want revenge for my cousins unalive. I guess on YouTube you gotta use these special words. As you see, I have 4,050 subscribers before they took my channel. So now I just pop on here and pop off. But you know me. Because, seeing is believing. And I've been doing this. That's why I posted all my receipts. And I'm going to continue to post receipts. Trucking has saved my life. So for all the youngsters that want to get out the streets and stop the killing and dealing and all that, trucking has literally saved my life. And this is after all the holidays. And this is before income tax. Income tax time, the first checks have not been cut. And JCAS has only gotten one income tax in my life. And that was back in when did I get that income tax? 2001. But I like to prove that truckers, we eat too. This is all trucking money, okay? This is for motivational purposes, not stunting, not flexing, but truckers get paid out here too. It's something light. It's something light, but you gotta show these people, look at that, I'm dropping money. You gotta show these other that, where the camera at? The truckers, we get money too, okay? And I dropped a whole stack of 50s. Literally, like, I make sure I pick these joints up. Somebody else pick them up. But this man had to basically, for his brother's funeral, get the whole town of Memphis police, helicopters, snipers on the roof. Make it make sense. It don't make sense. Just to lay his brother to rest. What kind of sense does that make, man? Because basically this man lost his life at a family member's funeral. I think one of his uncles that was a big time dealer, a legend back in the day. He went, Big Jook attended that funeral and he lost his life at that funeral. At the repast, he lost his life. So I do not knock Yo Gotti for doing what he did, protecting his family, protecting his mom, as he rightfully has the right to lay his brother down in the town that he's from. But did you see the police presence? That was more, they basically did more than what the president would get. They had snipers on the roof, undercover security, and almost the whole task force of Memphis police just to lay this man to rest. So-called gangster. Make it make sense. That's a damn shame, ain't it? It's a shame that we don't have no respect for the dead. You smoking on Jook packs. You smoking on Tuka. You smoking on who else? All these people, FBG Duck, like what we do to each other. Just like I be baffled sometimes when I watch these videos where these youngsters are so devilish that they talk about they smoking on somebody else's demise, desecrating the grave sites, disrespecting the family, and basically shooting up funerals. And they say what you do in between that dash basically is what your legacy that you're leaving behind. These kids nowadays, they getting tattoos on their face. Listen, man, I don't think I'm the handsomest, but I've had the best of the best. Trust me. Okay? Trust me. Alright? I'm not putting tattoos all over my face. Don't you know you're going to get. I think that people that do that, they know they're not going to live to see an elderly age. When you're putting tattoos all over your face, man. I'm not perfect by far. I have one demon that I'm fighting. Okay? Just one. But I left the streets alone. I'm a stand up citizen. I go to work. I pay my taxes. I don't hustle no more. I turned over a new leaf. I provide the receipts all the time. You know how JCats do. This is nothing new. But the major problem that we have, black people are the worst people on the planet Earth. We are the only ones that's killing it. Well, I can't really say that because over there in Pakistan, so I'm going to say in the United States, black people are the worst. The Mexicans, they come over here, they taking over construction. You understand me? It used to be blacks and whites on those construction sites. Yeah, it's still whites, a lot of whites on the construction site, a handful of blacks, but now the Mexicans have taken that over. I see it all the time here in Georgia. They could barely speak English. When I used to go pour the concrete or haul mulch, they'd be like, blah, 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 over there. Like, seriously? You might have a hand, one or two black people maybe moving the heavy equipment or something like that. We are the only race here in the United States that's killing each other the way we do. With no regard for children or grandparents or anybody elderly in the vicinity of your op. And you commence to shoot. Like, there was rules in the street, man. Even though the streets, they say there's no rules, but we had principle. It was principles. We have respect for the elderly. If there was kids at the playground, don't shoot. Well, I mean, here and there, you might get one person that might do it, but it's not like now. Now it's like you kill everything else except for your op. So it's like, it makes no sense that white people like country singers and rock and roll stars, they have a regular funeral. They just keep the public out. You know, it might be a private funeral, but they don't have to have all this police presence. They don't have to have snipers on the roof and private security. Maybe if it's a high profile white celebrity, they might want they might want security to keep the public out of the wake. But it's not because it might get shot up. I guarantee you, if you did a poll of how many funerals that got shot up, I guarantee you black African Americans are at the top of the list. It's sad that now that everything is at the click of a button, because there's a lot of things that you had to either be there or hear about it or read about it in the 90s. We didn't have YouTube where you could just, oh, white supremacy, click a button and watch what these people have done to us. Anything. How they cheated and stole to get ahead. And then they puppeteered your dumbass to kill each other, man. And y'all fell for the bait, and we've been doing this since I've been alive. And I've been alive 49 years. I done seen it all, been through it all. And in every hood that I grew up in, it was always black on black crime. Them pilgrims, if they did kill us, it was a crooked cop. You understand me? A situation like that. But it's like, we'll never wake up. We're too far gone. The best advice I can give you, because this is what I did. Any op that I put hands on or bust the hammer at, they all up north. I only had one situation down here when I was bouncing, and I had to beat the dude in the club. Back in the club. Same dude with the white hat. Caught the beats. Look. two-piece chickens.
Yes. I cannot stand when that floor.
He gonna get mocked right in the club. Damn near broke my hand on this dude's head.
If you're in a rush, you kind of keep on going.
Right there.
Sometimes you have to slow them down too. Don't
Here he
let
come.
them-
Bang! 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 Two-piece. Bang! Look at him. That was back in 2020. I'm not proud of it, but the dude, let me see, because I punched him back in the club. I get teased. Yo, Cass, why you supposed to beat him out, not back in? So basically, I was facing the parking lot, and I felt the from behind, so I instantly turned around and just punched with full force, and that's why you see him flying in. See, when I was in the streets, my peoples, it was about this. The moolah, baby. That's what it was about. You understand me? It wasn't about killing another brother. See, the problem is now, like I said, let's revert back to what I was saying before. You got babies being raised by babies. So if a 15-year-old, 16-year-old mom has a baby, she's still young. She still wants to hang out, party with her girlfriend. She's not really thinking about raising that child and instilling morals and principles of God in that child. And that's the revolving cycle. The father is not around because he's young too. So they're not together. It's not no marriage. They're not under the same roof. So the kid is split between grandma, aunties, mom here and there, but she still wants to party. So what is the kid really learning? He's learning what he sees outside that window. He's learning what, when he goes outside and he sees the OGs and he see the fancy cars and the women, and he see that a lot of these kids is on demon time, toting pistols and shooting them, what you think that kid is going to do? Because the father is absent and the mama's still partying because she's young. So what does he has to rely on? Call of Duty on the Xbox and watching everything that he sees outside. So now he wants to join a gang because daddy not there to teach him anything. And that creates a monster. Then you have limited opportunity in the hood. You understand me? Not a lot of these hood areas don't. There's no more rec center because you tore it down, because you shot it up, because you ruined it for yourself. See, black people need to all look in the mirror. You cry about opportunity and how you're limited opportunity, but look how you take care of the opportunity when it presents itself. In every black environment, if it's 99% black neighborhoods, it's trash everywhere. You don't take care of your surroundings. Black people also have some of the worst customer service ever. I mean, it's like we are the best race, but we are at the bottom. Like, we just at the bottom of the list for everything. If, like, say my neighborhood right now, I don't live in an HOA, we're homeowners. I got white neighbors within reach. I could climb this fence, white neighbor. Right next door, white neighbor. All right there at the stop sign, all around. When there's a nice white presence in your neighborhood tends to be a good neighborhood. It's sad to say it, but it's the truth. I realize this. I'm telling you, I'm so woke now that I got away from my troubled environment up north around a bunch of blacks and Spanish. Because that's all that was in my hood. You might have your little sprinkle of white people that think they black. But when a neighborhood is predominantly black, the crime rate will be up. The violence is up. Technically, your what they call that, the value of your home will be less because it's predominantly black. My home value is up right now because we have a lot of white people in the environment. And it's sad to say, after what they did, what their ancestors did to our ancestors, I have to feel safe around a real op. Make it make sense. See, that's what's wrong with black people, man. We're the biggest embarrassment to these folks. These folks don't like us. Yeah, you might have one. Oh, there's some good white people. There was white people that hid the slaves when they ran away. Yeah, I know. It's always a good one out the bunch. But 95% of them pilgrims, they don't like your black ass. They don't want you around. They feel you're less human, so that's why they treat you like you less of a human. But guess what? You give them reason to. Yeah, a lot of y'all ain't gonna like what I'm saying, but it's the truth. Listen, man. Even when I'm driving a truck and I go to these warehouses to deliver, the young knuckleheads got their pants hanging down off their ass at a place of business. So guess what? You're going to get treated the way you present yourself. You want to present yourself as a thug at the job site and all that. That's the energy I'm going to give you. I'm not going to respect you. That's why I'm saying black America needs to look in the mirror. Y'all cry about less opportunity, but look what you give. What you give is what you receive, man. Because every time we have something that's predominantly black, you destroy it. You shoot it up, you tear it down, and then they take it away. So now that's why the crime rate is through the damn roof, because the black people don't know how to act. You don't know how to conduct yourself. So the best advice I gotta give for those that want to get away from it, do like I did. Move about 1,000 miles away from everything you ever knew and watch how the level of peace and less stress will come upon your life once you remove yourself from a troubled environment, because that's the only way it's going to change. You will have to remove yourself. You can't stay around it because it's too far gone. It's over. Black people ain't never gonna stick together again. It ain't like back then with Malcolm and Martin, Marcus Garvey, Geronimo Pratt. It ain't like none of those days. Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan, them days is over. It's a new day and age. It's a new agenda that these pilgrims got set for your dumb ass, and that's this drill culture. They love the fact that this drill culture came out. Because, see, in the 90s, we had Black Thought, The Roots, Queen Latifah, uh, Moni Love, Brand Nubians, Paul Righteous Teachers, X Clan, Tupac when he first came out. The Brenda and had a baby, Tupac, before he went crazy. Um, just so Tribe Called Quest, Jungle Brothers, just so many groups that balanced the negative rap. But when y'all came out with this drill rap crap, they love it. If you could say in a song you killed so many people, you got a record deal. You got a record deal. Just think about it. Think about the hidden agenda that these folks got set up for your dumb ass. Y'all thinking drill rap is this and that. They only giving you a deal because they know you gonna mess up, kill one of your ops, like Lil Flock did, whatever his name is, Young Flock, whatever, from the Bronx, right? And end up in a damn cell or in a graveyard. So that's why they giving you deals. There is no positive rappers out there right now that's black. Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, these guys are old now, man. They in their mid 30s. But right now, who y'all have that's positive, that's leading the torch? Stop the killing, stop the violence. Nobody. So the saga continues. See, I understand what these folks is doing, man. They say, hey, we'll give these guys, these drillers and killers, these gangsters, record deals. They get more money, they buy more guns, they kill, drop more bodies. And then we win in the end because now we send their ass to prison. Let me tell you who's the richest people though right now in the hoods. If you work in the funeral service, you have to be a millionaire. You have to have almost Jay-Z money. And I know I'm exaggerating, but I'm being funny, but I'm telling the truth at the same time. Can you imagine the Chicago funeral parlors, um, the Memphis funeral parlors? Who else? DC, Baltimore, New York, Philly, all these black morticians, they call morticians, right? I think that's doing these bodies and funerals and wakes. They have to be multimillionaires because all they getting is black bodies every day, every week. They probably so overbooked. They probably a year or 2 years overbooked. You can't even hold a body longer really than 5 days. So now they gotta pass the baton to another funeral service. And guess what all those have in common, black people? It's black people. It ain't like y'all going over there harassing them pilgrims, stealing from them pilgrims, eliminating them pilgrims. Nah, y'all know better not to mess with Master. You understand me? But as long as y'all keep this agenda up of the black on black crime, them folks ain't gonna send resources. They not gonna help you. The politicians is not gonna help you because you're feeding the hidden agenda. Let's eliminate black people by black people eliminating black people. Let's not open up no rec centers in black neighborhoods because it gives the kids nothing to do. So now when they come outside, they got a gun and they rather kill and shoot. Like I said, I'm not Farrakhan, I'm not none of that, but I think I'm making sense here because I've been outside and now I'm not outside and I've been removed for 10 years and I'm trying to save somebody here. If you want to survive, you have to remove your kids. If you want your kids to make it, you will have to remove your children from a toxic environment by any means necessary. It's sad, but it's true. I'm glad I got my kids out the hood 10 years ago. And my two babies, they have no clue of a project, of a shootout, of crackheads, nothing. This is all they knew, the suburbs. Privileges that the whites always had, but the blacks always got the scraps. And I come from the projects, man. So I know what that life is like, and none of my kids seen what that life was like. Pissy hallways, urine in the hallway, gotta take your shoes off before you go inside your house. That's disgusting, man. Roaches and rats. Disgusting, man. I'm just giving you real spill. I know I got off the subject of Big Jook, but I'm speaking on a bigger problem. And like I said, it's never going to change. It's just getting worse. It's getting to the... I think these folks really want rap to be extinct because they only giving the drillers and killers the record deals, man. They smart. You know, these white people are real crafty. But I overstand it. But here's more from Sauce. And after that, I'm going to sign off. I just wanted to give my own little commentary on the situation of black America. You heard?
security was of the utmost importance. So Yo Gotti and them decided to do things a little different. In order to ensure the safety of both Yo Gotti and the attendees at the funeral, Yo Gotti and his family required everyone who was attending the funeral to pre-register for the service by filling out an application to attend the funeral, and if and only if your pre-registration application was approved, after review, could you attend Big Jook's funeral. Source, can you please pull up a copy of the pre-registration application? Alright, it says funeral guest list registration. Date of service Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. Blessed to those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Matthew 5:4. The Mims family would like to extend a heartfelt appreciation for the support during this difficult time after the passing of their beloved Anthony Big Jook Mims. To ensure a respectful and organized gathering, we kindly request your assistance in completing the following registration form. Your cooperation allows us to make the necessary arrangement and provide support to all attendees. Please note, guest capacity is limited, and we kindly request no plus ones. Completing this registration does not guarantee an invitation to the service. Once reviewed and approved, you will receive an email with your invitation. Okay, so essentially, Yo Gotti and them made it so that not only did you have to RSVP to Big Jook's funeral, but you also had to pass the background check. And if you didn't know somebody who knows somebody who could verify and identify who you were, you wasn't getting up inside that church. Additionally, the Memphis Police Department said that Yo Gotti and his family put so much manpower and firepower outside of that church that there was no way that anybody could retaliate even if they wanted to. When discussing the military-level police presence that was posted up outside the church, which included dozens of MPD squad cars, snipers on the roof, and a helicopter, Interim Police Chief C.J. Davis said, on Wednesday, January 31st, the Memphis Police Department monitored the funeral services of the late Anthony Mims in an ancillary support capacity. The family of Mr. Mims hired a private security detail of approximately 25 armed guards to cover the funeral services inside the church and on the exterior, including the roof. The involvement of the Memphis Police Department to monitor the perimeter of the property and the funeral escort was routine as in similar situations, and was specifically in the interest of public safety. Source, can you please show the people a video of what was going on over there by the church?
And we live in Memphis at the Big Jook firm. Oh, here they come, man. Here they come. They in them black trucks, only on Blackwood News. Come on, y'all know this. Putting up about 25 people in black cars. Oh, here they come. Only on Blackwood News. Let's go. They stupid in Hickory Hill right now. We're in Memphis, where they putting up a Big Jook. They got the sprinters, everybody putting up. Woo! They out here for Jook, man. They said he had love in the city. They putting up for him. This is why it had to be here. This is why it had to be here. Only on Blackwood News. They putting up stupid deep right now. We're live at the funeral reception for Big Jook, man. They're not playing that in the city today. They're not. They got helicopters in the sky, everybody out here. Ooh. Only on Blackwood News. Let's go. We out here. we live on Winchester. We on Hickory Hill. We in Hickory Hill on Ridgeway for the Big Jook funeral in Memphis, man. They out here. Only on Black News. Come on, man. Only on Black News. Y'all know what's up. Stop playing with me. Let's go. They hopping out.
That man said, stop playing with me.
They getting ready to head into the funeral service in New Direction for Big Jook, man. Only in Memphis, only on Blackwood News. Oh, we out here. Come on, man. Y'all know it don't stop. We live in Memphis at New Direction Church for Big Jook. Only on Blackwood News. Only on Blackwood News. Man, Big Jook had them ballers out here, man. We're live at the Big Jook funeral in Memphis. They walking in, they finna get it started, man. They got this area on lock too. Helicopters ain't playing, police everywhere. We're live in Memphis right now. We on Hickory Hill with it. They got armed guards everywhere. Only on Blackwood News, y'all know this, man. Man, they out here stupid deep. This is the Big Jook funeral in Memphis. Only on Blackwood News. They still putting up. Let's go. Look at them. They out here for Jook, man. They say he had a lot of love in the city. Despite what y'all say and everybody say, they said Jook had a lot of love, man. And they putting up for him. Blackwood News.
Now, after the funeral service was done, a reporter named Todd Starnes jumped on Twitter and said the funeral of Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook, was held at a Memphis church that had been turned into a fortress. Dozens of police cars were on hand. WMC-TV reports that there were snipers on the ground and on the roof, and there was a helicopter providing air support. Why doesn't the MPD provide that level of protection and support for the law-abiding taxpayers of Memphis? But Todd Starn wasn't done, because apparently the level of security at Big Jook's funeral was really bothering him. So he jumped back on Twitter and he said, the funeral of rapper Yo Gotti's brother was yesterday in Memphis. There was a massive police presence, military style, with snipers on the rooftops, dozens and dozens of officers, along with airships providing aerial surveillance. That never happens for funerals of country music stars or Christian music stars. Oh my goodness, Todd, I really don't think that country music stars are worried about retaliation from a whole bunch of cowboys that are looking for some get back. And I really don't think that Christian music stars are really like trying to protect themselves from the retaliation of a rogue group of saints that might come spray up the funeral. I mean, come on, Todd, use your head. Well, after Todd Starnes went on his 2-day Nicki Minaj-style rant, somebody named Willie Walters came in the comment section and shut him down. Willie said, Todd, quit acting like you don't know how America works. On top of paying millions in taxes, I'm sure Yo Gotti and his family paid additional fees at a premium to all departments present. But Todd Starnes wasn't the only person who seemed to have like a very big problem with all of the security that was at Big Jook's funeral, because the cussing pastor jumped online and said this.
So now we treat drug dealers, gangsters, like the President of the United States. This is the most foolish shit that I've ever seen. And I've been around the funeral business for many years. Yes, it's tragic that Big Jook was killed, but this foolishness on a funeral is fucking ridiculous.
And he a pastor?
30 or 40 private security guards with AK-7s, metal detectors, the whole entire Memphis Police Department detail for a funeral. Now you've also pulled in the Shelby County Sheriff's Department as they are on their way to travel and plant his ass at Memorial Park Cemetery. All of the exits on 385 East have been blocked by the Shelby County Sheriff's Department. This is the most foolish bullshit I've ever seen. You know, while all of these police officers are in Hickory Hill, what is going on in Hickory Hill? Is any crime today? Today, every crook that wanted to work could work and not get caught, because the police is more concerned about a damn dead man than the living. A waste of taxpayers' money. But then, when have they ever gave up?
Alright, so in an interesting plot twist, a few people have alleged that the cussing pastor's negative commentary about all the security at Big Jook's funeral is based on the fact that he's an op that's teamed off. And they pointed out the fact that even though Yo Gotti was trying to keep the time and place of his brother's funeral a secret, the cussing pastor just kept jumping online and sharing info about Big Jook's funeral in real time, which was basically letting Yo Gotti's ops know exactly where the funeral and the wake were gonna be, so that if they wanted to, they could slide on them. For example, after sharing the time and location of the wake and funeral, the cussing pastor also posted, "The wake for Big Jook is going on right now here in Memphis under heavy security. MPD is located heavily in the area. Also, there are heavily armed private security guards, helicopters are flying, and snipers are on the roof of the church." Okay, so after he divulged that information about the funeral, someone jumped in his comment section and said, "Why would you post the place and location knowing this was a high-profile murder, news reporter?" To which the cussing pastor basically said, "If someone dies, oh well, another funeral." And then someone else came through and said, "There's no way this man is a pastor, dropping lows and saying if someone dies, oh well, another funeral." Straight. Look, I don't know what's going on with the cursing pastor, but what I will say is this: if you know that there's a funeral and you know that the block is hot, you might not want to be dropping locations in real time. But, I mean, that's just me. Now, after Big Jook's celebration of life, some people were sort of not celebrating his life in the right way, because they were out there in Memphis selling Big Jook packs. I mean, come on, that's just like the most disrespectful thing ever. I didn't like it when King Von and them were out in Chicago talking about they were smoking on Tuka, and I certainly don't like it here. I mean, what kind of mentality do you have to even want to do that? Ugh. Anyways, I'm very glad that Big Jook was laid to rest, and I'm very glad that they were able to have the service in a church. But I gotta tell you, I think it's a darn shame that Yo Gotti practically had to bring out the whole military brigade in order to bury his brother. And I mean, when we get to a point where we gotta have like snipers on the church for a funeral, oh jeez, you know something's wrong. But listen, let me know what you think about Yo Gotti pulling no stops when it came to like securing his brother's funeral. Do you think that he was scared, or do you think that Yo Gotti is a G who's always prepared? Let me know in the comments. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celebrity news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel.
So you heard it first from the source. You know what I'm saying? The cousin pastor did have a couple of key points. Why would they have all this security for a gangster? You live by the gun, you die by the gun. Now, what does make sense, Yo Gotti doesn't want to go out like his brother did. He don't want nothing to happen to his loved ones, and they have the right to mourn in peace. So he's going to go to the proper extent to protect his family and his loved ones, and he has the right to do that. And I'm pretty sure he dropped a few bags to do it. So rest in peace, Jook. And if Yo Gotti was smart, since it's been blood dropped on, on both sides, a few people done went to jail behind this, and there's been a lot of bloodshed. If Yo Gotti was smart, this ain't gonna make you look like a sucker. Call a truce, man. Dolph is gone, and they got damn near as close to you as possible, your brother. It's time to just do a press conference and call a truce on the violence. Just let it go, man. Your brother's gone, Dolph is gone. People in jail behind this. There's other people that die behind this. Like, just call a truce, man. So, a head representative from PRE and Yo Gotti need to call a truce, a public truce. Is it going to work? No, but it might help. Y'all get money. You get into the money. Y'all got opportunities that a lot of black men don't get in the hood. But y'all be blessed. I'm gone.